Okay, well, hello. Do you go by Dani or Danielle now?
So I go by Dani, but in work life, I try to go by Danielle, but it doesn't stick.
Who are you today?
Today I'm Dani, full-blown
Dani Kravette.
Dani Kravette.
Welcome to Seeing Other People.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I tried to go by Danielle because it sounds more professional and whatnot, but then people get to know me and they're like, no, you're fully a Dani. I don't even know what that means, but it just sticks more.
It's so funny because I was thinking about that. I was like, oh, I don't know how I'm supposed to introduce her.
No, Dani's perfect.
Okay.
I've been a Dani my whole life.
You have been.
Yeah.
You have been. So backstory, we go way back.
Way back.
Way back. We grew up together.
Yes.
2-year age difference.
Yep.
2-year age difference, but we always knew each other.
Yeah, always.
And we were like definitely friends in high school too.
Oh yeah, and it just shows you gotta be nice to everyone because now we reconnected.
Yep.
Post college.
Yeah, we did.
And now we're working together.
Yeah, we also went to college together.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Oh my God. Small world.
Yeah. So, okay, you're here. You're 27.
27.
New York City.
Living in the city.
Single.
Single Pringle.
How's that going?
It's good. I feel like I really define like and I don't want to define myself as like a single girl because that's not what I am. Like I literally used to be called a boyfriend girl back in the day in college. I went from like boyfriend to boyfriend to boyfriend, which was not a good thing looking back. Not a good thing, not a bad thing. I don't regret anything. But I think post college, I was like, okay, this is my time to really learn how to be on my own. You know, I was always very reliant on a boyfriend and those emotions. And I always thought I like loved myself and was confident. But then once I was single and in my 20s, it was a whole new level of like learning about myself and being quote unquote single. Like I think honestly, even if you're in a relationship, you can still consider yourself somewhat, you still have to be single in somewhat in the sense of like, you have to be comfortable being by yourself and being independent, like obviously being loyal to a partner, but you have to really learn how to, you know, be comfortable with yourself and spend time alone. And I feel like over the past 5 years now, I've done that. So I feel like I have dated every type of person. I'm literally the friend that, you know, has the funny stories. So that's my long-winded answer saying it's good. Like I definitely enjoyed my time being single. It ebbs and flows where I'm like, yeah, I'm ready for a relationship. But at the end of the day, I feel very comfortable with myself as a person. I know that will come just when the time is right.
I almost cut you off when you said you went from boyfriend to boyfriend in college because my Syracuse experience could not have been more different. And I feel like there were two types of people at Syracuse. People who went from boyfriend to boyfriend to boyfriend, or people who so badly wanted that like college relationship experience. And for the life of them, it was never going to happen.
Yeah. So it's funny because I always say I'm really curious what I would have been like in college without a boyfriend. Mm-hmm. Like I was still super fun, I would like to think. And I went out and did the typical Syracuse stuff that you know and love. But I always wonder kind of what it would have been like because the relationships I were in at times weren't really healthy. So a lot of my, you know, mental real estate was bogged down with that. So I wonder, and I look back on it now and I'm like, how silly was I to be upset about these silly little things?
Oh my God, I know.
So I'm always wondering like what it would be like to be single in college. But
yeah, I mean, listen, I lived it and it's in the past.
Yeah.
It is in the past. But you were single out of college.
Yes.
So you had that single New York City experience.
Yes.
Which I think is probably better than being single in college. You're a little more mature, a little older, a little more like, okay, I have to at least somewhat try and be a quote unquote adult, which like, I don't know about you. I still don't feel like I'm an adult.
Depends on the day, honestly. Like I think about myself today versus even I'm 27 now. I think about myself even versus like 25 or 24. Like I'm a totally different
completely different person. Yeah.
And I always think I'm like a very confident person, but it just totally changed and grew immensely as I got older. I think it's more, it's so like cliche, but like you just learn more based on who you meet and who you date or who you're friends with. And I've definitely had a shit ton. Oh, can I curse?
Absolutely.
Sorry. Okay.
Absolutely.
I've had a shit ton of experiences and like stories with dating where I just feel like every time, you know, something doesn't work out, let's say, I know what the lesson is. And it's like, that is either what I want or what I don't want.
You know it in the moment.
Sometimes. So I've had very like sticky situations with men. Like I feel like I'm the token friend that always ends up with like the douchebag, honestly. And the lessons are always like kind of blurred when it's the guy's not really the sweetest or the nicest. It's always like, okay, the lesson here is that that's not what I deserve or what I want. And we're no longer seeing each other, but I was recently just seeing this guy, and he was totally spectacular, like such a sweetheart and so mature. And when he ended things just the other week, it was so crystal clear what the lesson was. And I was like, this is such a standard of like what I deserve. Like, even though he was ending it, it was so clear that like, I was like, shit, like I want to be angry at you, but I'm not, because everything you're saying is so valid. And the way he handled it was just so masculine, and he was such a gentleman about it. So sometimes it's a blurred line where it's like, what's the lesson? I know there's a lesson there, but recently I had a moment where I was like crystal clear, like this is the lesson. This is the standard that I deserve when I'm dating someone.
That's great. Have you ever had a guy tell you from their mouth to your ears, you deserve more?
Like, not in so many words. Like, I've heard people say like, it's just not the time for me, and you're a great girl. So kind of I've heard the "you're a great girl" speech, and I know that it's a load of bullshit. Like, I really do. And at the end of the day, I know I'm a really good person, and I know I'm such a lover and a doter, and I'm a caretaker in relationships. But when it's coming from a guy, it's just an excuse to get out of it. Yeah. Like, they're trying to deflect and make me feel better about myself. And I'm like, I don't need you to do that. Like, all I ask in a partner is honesty. And I don't need you to deflect about me as a person to make yourself feel better about ending it.
Do you think the reason they're ending it matters? Like, do you wish they were just like genuinely honest, or were just like, it's over, and then covered it up with whatever nice words they want to say?
I rather than be brutally honest, because I'm a girl. At the end of the day, I'm gonna overthink things. Like, even if they're being honest,
that was straight out of a TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm a girl.
I'm a girl.
I'm gonna overthink
I'm
things.
a girl. I'm gonna overthink. I love that trend, honestly. Yeah, I'm a girl. I'm gonna overthink things. And the issue, the thing with me, not even issue, is like, even if I'm overthinking something, like, I'm very aware that like I'm overthinking. I'm like, he was so honest with me, but my mind's gonna go in this path. But I'm also very aware that like I'm being ridiculous.
Yes.
So yeah, I rather them be honest no matter how much it hurts. But also with this situation that happened recently, it was very valid reasons why he was ending it, and he was so truthfully honest, and it really did have nothing to do with me and more of like where he was in a place of his life. And I totally respected that. Like, I've just had guys beat around the bush and be like, I see us more as friends. Like, shut up. Like, no,
we're not here for friendship.
Yeah,
like
we never started as friends.
Yeah.
Like, we're not gonna be friends. So in that case, I'd rather just be honest, and just even if it's a me thing and they don't like me, just like be like, look, you're not really for me. That's fine. I'm not going to be for everyone when it comes to friends, relationships. Like, I'm not going to be for everyone, and that's okay. Yeah.
And not everyone is going to be for you.
Yeah. And that's so fine too.
And half the time it's not like there's something wrong with them. It's just like not a fit.
Right. And it's so funny because my friends and I always say, like, if I went out with someone who I didn't like or vice versa, like, set them up with your friends. Like, your friends could very much like them also. I mean, you could also go the other way where it's like, yeah, but if you and your friends are so similar, you're probably gonna like the same guys. But that's not the case. Like, I've had situations where, two of my best girlfriends, one of them out with a guy, she didn't really like him, and passed her on, not passed, you know what I mean? Passed him off to the friends. And I think it's a nice thing to do because it's kind of like your friend is vetting the guy. And
yeah, we're all in this together. Like, why not help each other?
Yeah, it's interesting.
You're close friends. Mm-hmm. What's the split between in relationships, single? What's going on there?
So I have two best friends who are married, but they've been married for like years. Honestly, they've been dating their husbands for 9+ years, which is so crazy. Wow. Right now, I would say it's more in relationship. If I look at like all my friends, like different like groups and whatnot, and like people from all walks of life that I'm friends with, but I would say more in relationships than single. But the girls who are single, I don't even know how to word this, so I'm gonna stop in my tracks here and think about it. No, I would just say that most of them are in relationships, but it's across like different friend groups where it doesn't feel overbearing that like all your friends are in relationships, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I know that could be an issue if, one solid friend group, everyone's in a relationship except for one person. I have friends from camp, school, home. So it's like it feels very spread out, even though majority of them are in relationships.
As opposed to like, oh, we're all doing a Friendsgiving or Christmas, Hanukkah dinner, and everyone has their plus ones, and then you show up by yourself, and you're like, oh,
right,
I'm 11th wheeling.
100%. So yeah, I never really feel like that. I also, my friends who are in relationships are so just stable in their relationships and truly like picture perfect images of like healthy relationships. So when I'm around them, I'm not like, ugh, I'm the single one here. Like I'm never going to treat myself as like the token single, because that's the stupidest shit ever. Like you're not going to be single forever. That's such a silly way to define yourself. And I love being around them. If anything, it just inspires me and teaches me even more lessons on what is out there, and that there are really good guys out there, because my friends are dating and married to like the most incredible guys. I hope you're watching this, guys, because you really are incredible.
Way to be great. Keep being great.
I know you are.
No, I think that's so true and so great. And it's so easy to say like, oh, well, everyone else is in a relationship. Why am I not? But especially, you mentioned they're all great. Like that's amazing. It's inspiring. It gives you hope. Like, okay, if these people are all out there and they found their person, and I also like know and love their people, and I'm similar to their people, then I'm also going to find my person. And, I lived with one of my best friends and her now husband. I lived with them.
That's crazy.
And I was just surrounded by them when I couldn't have been more single, but it didn't make me sad. It made me hopeful. It gave me comfort. And it was so wonderful to look at what a healthy relationship was.
I think also it's how comfortable you are with yourself. Like I totally agree with the statement that comparison is the thief of joy. And I think if you're looking at, your friends who are in relationships and your friends who, are seeing someone and maybe you're not, like, you can be jealous, but literally it's like a green enemy. Like you don't want to be jealous. It's just going to bring in negative energy into your life. And I heard this saying, the grass is always greener on the side you water it.
Yes. I heard that recently for the first time.
I heard that from Joe's wife from First Round.
Me too.
Oh my God,
that may have been in my episode.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, she said it in a meeting. And I literally
she said
was
in my episode. That's when I heard it.
Yeah,
wow.
I wrote it down because I was so obsessed with it. Yeah, shout out Hannah, you're incredible. Literally like changed my thought process, because the grass is always greener, but you can look at it that way, but spend time on the side you're on and the grass of the plot of land that you're on and water the hell out of it, and it'll be freaking spectacular.
Yeah, even like with you, we were talking before we started recording about how like we both work for ourselves, and you were saying like you maintain your structure for yourself. You wake up at 7 a.m. every day and like go and do the things that you need to do for you to feel good, and like you're spending time investing in yourself and taking care of yourself.
100%.
You're watering your own grass.
I'm I'm pouring buckets.
We love it.
Water on my grass.
Love it. Okay, what has been going on lately in your dating life? What are the dates you're going on? Like, what are the apps like right now for you?
So I was seeing someone from like the middle of the summer to just like last week or something. So fresh news. And I took a break from dating, honestly. I think I usually, when I like someone, I put all my eggs in one basket. I put the whole fucking farm in a basket. Like, like everyone's like, you should date around and whatnot. And, when I like someone, like in the beginning, I was, going on other dates, but it got to the point where it was just because I felt like I had to be doing it because of like cultural standards. But I was
also exhausting. It's tiring.
And I
it takes up a night of your week.
Yeah, I'm like, screw this. And so I was seeing this guy for a little bit of time, and this was the one who was like super mature the way he ended it, and totally respected his honesty. So now I'm back on the apps. I didn't delete the apps because we weren't there yet. We didn't have that conversation.
Were you hoping to?
100%. And the way this whole thing started is I kind of, approached the conversation by saying, not what are we, but like, let's start doing like double dates and things like that. I just wanted to kind of get to that next level because it was moving really slow, which I wanted, which I wasn't used to. I'm usually like hot and heavy, fiery, and then ends overnight. So I wasn't on the apps by choice, not because we had a conversation about what we were. It was just I wasn't into dating anyone else. I like to devote my attention to one person. Shoot me. Like, everyone's always like, you got to go on other dates. Don't put your eggs in one basket.
It's hard
but
to.
It's hard.
It's also... It's emotionally taxing.
It is.
And
it feels like a job.
It feels like a job. And you can't actually give people a fair chance always when you're doing that.
100%. Right. And I saw your clips from your episode of Life in Progress and how you were saying like you guys didn't follow the rules.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a mental battle with a lot of girls my age. It's like, and my friends and I talk about it all the time, where it's like, do we follow the rules or we just like go with our gut and like what we're feeling? And it got to the point, at least the past few years, where I'm like, I'm going to date how I want to date. Like, I'm not going to follow these rules where it's like, don't text him after the date. Or, you know, I used to literally be like, should I text him after the date? And now I'm like, screw it. If I want to talk to him, like I'm going to text him. And I was never the one to shy away from going up to a guy in a bar. So I was like, why am I suddenly taking these rules into account when I've never done that before?
And you texting somebody after a date that you had a great time and thanking them, that is never going to be the reason that they decide, nah, not into Dani anymore. Yeah, she texted me first. Bye.
It's so true. And also I realized the person I'm going to be with and end up with, they're going to love every aspect of me. Like, and they're not going to be like, oh, she's too forward. Like they're going to like that I'm super forward and aggressive and whatever words you want to call me. Yeah. So back on the apps, they're tough. Like they're just, it's crazy. I feel like every once in a while it gives you like a good batch of just like really eligible bachelors. And then it's just like bad. Not to be me. It's just bad. It's not it. Sometimes I go in phases where I delete it and then I go back on it. But
what apps are you using?
Hinge and Raya. But I haven't even gone on a date from Raya. It's like literally window shopping. Yeah. But it's fun. It's fun window shopping. Hinge I've had the most success on. But I mean, at the end of the day, I would like to meet someone in person and have that organic thing. But like, that's also bullshit. Like at the end of the day, if you want to meet someone, you have to put effort into it. So yeah, I'm going to be on the apps and people are so anti that, but it's just, how are you going to meet people?
Yeah, you got to do it.
I'm going out. I'm doing all the things where you can naturally meet people too. Yes. Like I'm doing that. I sit at cafes not to like meet people, but like I'm not hiding in my apartment and hoping to get a date from just like swiping. Like I still am doing all the things, but yeah, I think why not? There have been so many successful relationships from dating apps.
Yeah, you got to be on the apps, but not only rely on the apps, which is exactly what you're doing.
No. You got to be a social butterfly. Yeah. And fly.
What would you change about apps if you could change anything?
Okay, not what I would change, honestly, but what I like about certain apps that not all apps do is that it only shows you a certain amount of guys a day. Yes. Like I think when you have so much access to so many guys or girls or whatever you're interested in, it's like another social media platform where you're just like scrolling and your fingers swiping or Xing or hearting like crazy. I think it makes it more meaningful when you only have a select amount. And also it's just for the sake of like getting off your phone more. Yeah. Because there are times where I can catch myself like literally like looking at Hinge and I'm still going, not like to hate on Hinge, like love Hinge. I use you all the time, but it's like you can get stuck on it like a social, like TikTok.
100%.
It's addicting, and it's better when it's just like an app where you can go, okay, you'll scroll through 6 guys, boop, and then you get it in like 12 hours later.
Yeah, and you're done for the day.
And
then you're actually paying closer attention to what's on these people's profiles, thinking about them instead of just like mindlessly swiping. I've always said I think the free versions of dating apps are better to use because you're paying for unlimited likes. You're paying to be able to see everyone. You're paying to be sucked in and feel more burnt out from dating and feel worse about yourself. So it's okay to only have a few options served to you a day. Like even the fact that you get those is wonderful.
100%. Yeah. So I don't know what I would change. I would just encourage all to make it more limited, just so people can really focus on who they're being presented.
Can I see your profile? I want to see your prompts.
Yeah. Wait, it's in my back. Hold on.
I got you.
Let's go to my Hinge. And yeah, be honest.
I will. Okay. All right. So first picture is a picture just of her beautiful self. Love that you can just like see how you clearly look here.
Thank you.
You should not go out with me if you won't kill the spider. Yeah, if I had that on my profile, Jake and I would not be engaged right now.
That one gets a lot of responses, but the responses are like, "Don't worry, baby, I got you," and it's like jail. It's like I don't want any part of that.
I want someone to message you being like, "I won't kill the spider, but like we'll cry in the corner together,"
or like won't kill the spider, but like we'll buy you drinks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
agreed.
That's clever.
Agreed.
Even though I don't drink, but
Jake
that's
and I do always say this is going to be the downfall of our relationship.
Why? Because he's scared of spiders.
We're both terrified. Like absolutely terrified.
Yeah, that's not great for me.
No, even when there's been like some questionable bugs, I won't name names in here since you're here right now, but not in months.
I'm ready to go.
I've had to call neighbors when he's home because he won't do it either.
Yeah, no, I'm petrified of spiders. It's something I need to get over.
Ooh, we got a nice personality pic in here.
You're like a little
gorgeous,
cheeky
wedding pic. Love. I'm convinced that I know every lyric to every song. Me too.
Yep.
Then we got like
it's funny because then people comment like, "What about this song?" And I'm like, I literally
some
don't
vibey
know that song.
And we'll get along if you pick the restaurant.
Yeah, because I hate to admit it, I'm not indecisive, but I rather just you take the lead there.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Okay, so some feedback.
Yeah, I'm ready to rock.
I think you look really pretty.
Thank you.
Your prompts don't say that much about you.
Yeah, that's true.
You're
I literally haven't changed it.
You're afraid of spiders. You know a lot of words to songs, and you can't pick a restaurant. So you sound like every girl that I know.
I haven't changed. I changed the photos. I haven't changed the prompts since after my ex-boyfriend, which was literally 5 years ago when I created this.
I think it might be time
This is vintage.
to do an update. Wow.
This is a vintage Hinge profile.
Wow, I feel honored to be holding it. I think we could add a little more.
A little more zest.
Yeah, even something as simple as like, I'm convinced, like, I know every lyric to every song, like, try me. Or like
like
what,
like a little prompt for
what's
them.
your favorite?
Mm-hmm.
So what song, what's your go-to song that you know every word to? Like something like that, asking them a question.
Okay.
We love asking them a question. We'll get along if you pick the restaurant. Like, what's your favorite sushi
love
spot?
being called out. Like, truly, I love it. It's so funny.
It's necessary.
Yeah.
We'll get along if you pick the restaurant. Bonus points if it's Thai or if it's sushi. Like, what's your go-to spot?
Screw the rest of my day. I'm updating my Hinge the second I
Yes. Yeah, like add more of you in it.
Okay.
I think the pictures show a lot of personality and are great. I actually really love the pictures. I wouldn't change them at all.
Oh,
I think
love that
this is the perfect type of first picture where you see you
no confusion,
clearly, no confusion, no who is she, no sunglasses,
nope.
Like you're smiling, you look pretty, you look happy.
Thanks.
I like it.
Thank
you.
It.
So
okay, I'm gonna work on my prompts. And I'm gonna send
work on your prompts.
Later.
Send them to me. Maybe when this comes out, we'll like do a review on the story.
Yeah,
get
that would be good.
Voting on them. Love it.
Love that. Okay, put that away.
What? I need to hear like date fails or crazy dating stories that you've had because I've heard you've had a lot.
Well, I've just been like love bombed like one too many times, but I would think one that just popped into my head is before I go on a date, my mom always asks me like, what do they sound like? Like, have you heard their voice? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, no, like obviously not. Like we're just texting, we're communicating via text. Which is so funny because she's like, back in the day, like we spoke on the phone and things like that. I'm like,
she must be a huge fan of the voice prompt.
No, yeah. Well, I don't even think she knows that's a thing, but I'll teach her that one day. But she used to always ask me like, what does his voice sound like? And I'm like, Mom, I don't know. And it made me realize like that is so crazy that we don't know what these guys sound like before we go on a date. So I was going on a date.
Oh my God.
And I walk in and he's like 6'4", like hunky. He was like very, very good looking. And he opened his mouth and it's like the scene in the movie, what movie is it? I'm gonna blank out.
That is the story of my life right there.
What? Yeah,
blanking completely.
It's when the two women are on the beach chairs and the guy's like all like hunky and comes over and he's like, "What's up, ladies?"
Yeah.
What movie is that?
I know what you're talking about. But
Just go with it.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe that's. I don't know.
Oh my God.
But he opened his mouth and he was like, "Hey, what's up?" I forgot his name honestly.
Like Helium.
Yeah, Helium.
Oh no.
And I could not stop thinking about my mom throughout the whole date. I was like, I cannot wait to call her after because it made me be like, okay, maybe I should be getting on the phone with these people before. And like, look, if you have a silly voice, like that's totally fine. It personally made me not attracted to the person. He was a great guy, but I couldn't really get over it. It was too helium-y for me. But
it's also just like a shock to the system because you're not expecting it.
Not expecting it. Right.
Not
and it
expecting
also just really showed me like you're really going out with a stranger.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on actually? I go back and forth where I'm like, I want to, get out of the Jewish scene where it's, everyone who's in like Michigan, Syracuse, Maryland, like those schools, and really just go out with someone who doesn't know anything about me, doesn't know my past. But then also I was just seeing someone who, wasn't in the scene so much, but was like, we had a lot of mutual friends and it also felt very comfortable and comforting. So what's your opinion on like dating someone who's, totally removed from, our Northeast Jew scene?
Yeah, I think there's no like right or wrong way to do it. One is not better than the other. I think it's great to try both and see what sticks. I did date somebody who completely different. I dated a few people who were like completely different worlds away. No, like literally no mutual friends.
I had like a foreigner moment.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, no, it was
Love
fun.
that for you.
It was fun.
And there were like, it was exciting and it was so different, and it like took me out of my comfort zone, and I feel like I learned, like I got out of my bubble and I learned a lot more about like other places and just other groups of people and stuff. But there was that missing, I don't think it was necessarily a problem in the relationship, but I think like looking down the line, had it gone on longer, I would have felt maybe a disconnect, or like, oh, well, maybe we actually like want to end up in really different places.
Yeah.
You know? So I think it's definitely worth exploring.
Totally.
Even if just for the experience, if it doesn't go anywhere, like you'll still, again, like you'll know exactly what the lessons are. You'll learn so much. But there is something to that comfort.
Yeah.
And
I've experienced both too.
familiarity.
And I like both. And I don't know what I will land on. I
When-
thought of another.
Yeah.
It's a funny story. It's a little inappropriate. Can we be inappropriate?
We can be inappropriate. But first, my mutual friend that I did like a reference check on Jake with was Helena Rosen.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
See, we always come back to each other as our monk chicks.
Yep.
This was in my foreigner phase.
Okay.
It just happened like randomly.
You had a whole phase?
I had a phase. It was just for like probably like 2 months. Nothing
Wow.
ever came out of these. It was just like guys I went on dates with. But I was sitting at Soho House one like Friday with 2 of my girlfriends just working, and it was super crowded. And this guy, this is so funny. My family loves this story, and the fact that I'm telling you right now is
I'm
kind
excited.
of messed up. But this guy comes and sits down with us, and he's in town from London, and we're just like shooting the shit, chatting, and make a long story short, we ended up going on a date the next night. He was cute, like not my typical type, but like he had the London vibe, and it was just like fun. It was like a meet cute. It was like sitting at Soho House. It was a vibe. We go on a date, totally hit it off, like great vibes, like smooching here and there. And he was like, he kept saying like, let's go dancing. I'm like, we don't go dancing here. And also like, what? It was like pouring rain. I didn't really want to like continue the night.
Where would you even have, like, where were you?
No, it was
go?
like, when I tell you, like the sky was vomiting water. Like it was torrential downpouring. And I was like, I'm not going dancing. Like, trust me, I like to dance, but like not in like that setting. And I was like, whatever. I don't really want this night to end, but I don't really want to go dancing. So I was like, let's just go back to my apartment and we'll like have some wine. This is like back when I was drinking. I don't drink anymore, which is a whole other thing. Yeah, we'll get into that. We'll go back and have some wine and just like talk, whatever. So we go back to my apartment and we're playing Let's Fucking Date.
Yeah.
Which honestly I've played on a lot of dates, which is great. And we're playing it.
Then you'll love what we're about to play.
Okay, I can't wait. And like my friends literally borrow it from me. I'm like, just get it. And we're playing the game, and I automatically just like put the cards down. I was like, I have to ask you a question that's not on the cards. And he's like, what? I go, are you circumcised?
I'm crying.
And he was from London, like whatever.
I'm crying.
And he goes, he like looks at me like kind of like I have like 4 heads, and like he's like probably thinking American chicks are bizarre. And he was like, no, I'm not circumcised. And I was like, I have to see your penis. Like I've never I was like, I've never seen an uncircumcised penis, like only on Google. Like I feel like you've probably looked up an uncircumcised penis on Google.
Can
Like
confirm.
everyone's done it. I was like, I have to see it. Okay. So he's like pulling down his pants.
He just drops his pants.
And like I didn't do anything with it. Like I didn't want to do anything with it. I just wanted to look. And he like was like, oh, okay, like now what? And I'm like, that's it. Like pull your hands. And then he literally left like 10 minutes later, and we never spoke again.
Oh my God.
Yeah. He just I was so curious.
I understand.
And I'm never gonna see that guy again. Like, who cares?
I met one of my best friends and I right after college, we went on a trip to London and France together. And we were at a pub, and we met these 2 guys, and we started talking to them. And first of all, we thought they were the best of friends. Like we thought they had also come together and like known each other their whole lives, like for 10 years, whatever. And like we're there together. We end up spending like the whole night with them. Like we were like saying like like frolicking the streets of London till like 5 a.m. with them.
Yeah.
We end up getting like breakfast with them the next day.
Did you have a sleepover?
We had a sleepover. So 2 things. One of them is a Jewish Brit.
Okay. We love that.
And that was mine.
Yes.
And I was very excited about that.
Big win.
Wonderful.
Sorry to your fiance right now.
And the other one was not Jewish. So that question came up too. And
this guy was
not
wildly not
circumcised.
Jewish.
But it was the funniest thing ever. Punchline, turns out they had also met each other that night at like a pregame.
my God.
Like they were not friends.
I love
And they
those
ended up spending their
nights.
entire trip with, like, not their entire trip. They literally for 4 days, they canceled all their plans. They took us all around London. Like it was the like most like funniest thing ever.
I love that. My friends and I always say the nights where you don't have any plans and you
Yeah.
just like go sit at a dinner end up being the best nights
Yes.
because you end up meeting such like I can think of a few nights where I've literally had my friends and I were just talking about this. Like what are nights that really stand out to you? And it's always the nights where we just like go out for maybe a drink or a dinner and then you end up like meeting random people and spending the whole night
Yes.
with them. And I still am friends with some of these guys that I've had those nights with. Like
So
not
funny.
even like sexual
Just, like,
or anything.
like,
Just like
straight
you
platonic,
meet-
like, friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those are the best.
Yeah, one of my birthdays, my Jesse Chastain and I went out, and we tried to go to what's that club that starts with an M on the like West Village area. I don't know why I'm blanking. I also don't go to clubs, so that makes
I'm like
sense.
club rat. over here.
Whatever.
So
We
you were
couldn't
the club
get in.
rat. Okay.
They wouldn't let us in. This was like my 25th birthday. They wouldn't let us in. So we go to some, like, we ended up going to a random bar nearby. And we ended up, there was a table of these like 6'5" Australian dudes next to us. We
Love.
ended up like hanging out with them all night. Like, completely platonic, but it was just like so fun.
It's
and
so
random.
fun. It's the best. Those are
Yeah.
the best nights ever.
Yeah.
I'm
They
in
are.
the mood for one of those nights.
It's time. We're
It's
due.
time.
Okay. Game time.
Game time.
All right.
Let's
So-
do it.
Where do you draw the line? The best game. I've played it with Jake. I played it with friends. I haven't played it on dates, I guess. Dates with Jake, but you will
That
play it on
counts.
dates.
Yeah, I will play it on dates and report back.
Exactly. Okay. So there are 2 types of cards here. Oops, there's take the plunge and dip your toes.
Okay.
And on each card, there is a scenario.
Okay.
And the options for you, and we'll both play, the
Okay.
options to respond are deal breaker, red flag, indifferent, or that's me.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
Cool.
Sounds easy.
Do you want to dip your toes or take the plunge?
I'm gonna take the plunge.
Go for it.
What would your I can't read. What would your best friend say is the biggest red flag about you?
Oh, that's a wild card. So that's an open-ended answer.
Oh, an open-ended answer?
Yeah.
Okay. What would my best friend say?
I love
my
that you pulled that
biggest red flag is? Okay.
Do you want to text them and ask?
No, like, should I?
Do it. We'll report back.
Okay.
I'm done.
I have a feeling. I'm gonna text in my group chat. Will you hold this?
Yes.
Guys. For podcast. What is my biggest
Red
red
flag. Respond now.
flag? Respond
We can
now.
table it and go back to it in 5 minutes.
Yeah, they'll get back to me.
I love it.
They're-
Wait, before we get back, in the meantime, sober. I want to hear about
Oh
that.
yeah. So sober's a stretch because
California sober.
I sip like here and there, but honestly, I'm checking if they respond. Stop working, girls. I was never like the biggest drinker. Like I was just like a social drinker.
Yeah.
Like I would go out and drink, obviously, but you know, I was never like the one getting blackout. I was always very coherent. And in the spring or like late last winter, I just got to the point where I was waking up and like, yeah, this is a hangover, but not even the hangover. I was just like getting so anxious about things in my life that I was never anxious about, like friends, family, job, boys. And like, I just am not an anxious person. I've never had anxiety. So when I started to feel those feels, I was like, fuck this. And it wasn't like I'm like, oh, I'm going to go cold turkey and cut it out. It just slowly started to I just started to go out and go to dinner and not order a drink. The biggest test for me is I was in Tulum for Remy's bachelorette, one of my best friends, and I ordered a drink and then I was like, wait, I don't even want this. And so I didn't drink the whole entire weekend. And it just really showed me that I can even be in Tulum for my best friend's bachelorette and still have the most incredible time. And it kind of just stuck since then. Like I started going out, and my thing is I love to hold something when I'm out. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. So I just started holding a seltzer with lime. Like no one knows the difference. It could be a vodka soda for all you know.
Yeah.
And I don't want to like count days of how many days I haven't drank, because I think that can get a little unhealthy, at least for me. So like I love the taste of gin martini. So like when my friend orders one, like I have a sip of it because I like the taste of it, but I don't need a whole one. So I don't call myself sober. I just kind of don't drink, if that makes sense. And it's been very interesting dating and
I was
not
gonna
drinking.
say, yeah, what's that been like?
So I go back and forth on, I just kind of feel out the situation. Like sometimes I give the guy a heads up and I'm like, hey, by the way, I don't drink. Because first dates are usually drinks. Like, for example, I'm going on a date tonight actually, and I didn't let him know that I don't drink, but we're going to a bar. And I think it's crazy because when you tell someone you don't drink, they instantly think you're like a raging alcoholic. So it's weird to like text women like, hey, like I'm so down for drinks, but like, by the way, I don't really drink. I say like parentheses, like a lifestyle choice. And I've had people even ghost me because of it. I mean, that speaks volumes to them as a person.
You know what?
Like,
they're saving you time.
oh yeah, I literally
like,
didn't think twice about that.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting that's
Such a
always
deal
that's
breaker
always
for
like the
someone.
first conversation of a date is like when I sit down, they're like, oh, why don't you drink? Is it like a personal thing? And I'm like, it's literally just because I don't want to.
Yeah.
And I'm still dabbling with the idea of, you know, do I want to drink or do I not want to drink? And I literally decide when I'm in the moment on the date or out for dinner or out with my friends. And I usually end up not drinking.
I love that. And you know what? I think it's great that you're not like saying this is the way it's going to be for like you'll go through seasons of different things. And like, I'm sure you'll sometimes like want a champagne toast, like,
Totally.
you know, and it's okay to feel good about wanting to do that in the moment.
Right.
And it's okay to also to decide, no.
Yeah. It's crazy. Even for my friend's wedding, Remy's wedding the other weekend, I was after the ceremony, I was like, ooh, I'm like kind of feeling like a little like glass of wine or something.
Yeah.
And then when I went to the bar to order it, I was like,
Nah.
fuck it. I want a seltzer. And I was so happy with it.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's been great.
And then you wake up the next day.
I
feeling
feel
good.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
Goals.
I'm happy about it.
Love it.
Let's see if I answer.
Okay.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Oh my God.
My friend Lauren goes, don't yell at me for saying this, but your way or the highway. Okay. Okay. We've
Shots fired.
We've had this conversation before. Oh, now they're going. Okay.
Oh my God.
We've had this conversation before, and I'm just gonna justify this. I only think it's my way or the highway in the sense where it's like, maybe this is my red flag that I'm justifying it. But if I don't want to go out or I don't want to do a plan, I'm not doing it.
Good for you.
Like you can't convince me.
And like everyone I know needs more of that.
And I think I would maybe not, Lauren, tell me if there's other things we need to talk about, but like that's kind of how I roll. Like if I'm not in the mood to go to that dinner or I'm not in the mood to go out or I want to stay home or do my own thing.
Yeah.
You cannot convince me.
I
won't have FOMO. Yeah, I won't have FOMO. Like I will have JOMO.
Yeah.
Joy.
I love Domo.
Joy.
I love
missing
Domo.
out.
I've gotten a lot better this year at saying no, or like, for example, like last night I had dinner plans and I texted my friend halfway through the day. I was like, listen, like I am not in a good mood today. I know if I see you, I'm just gonna like complain the entire time and like not actually like show up as my best self. And like, I would love to like be happy and have a great time when I see you. So like, can we reschedule?
Yes.
And so we canceled our
That's
plans.
so good.
And tonight I have dinner plans again. And I was like, you know what? Like, are you guys down for like a cozy night on the couch with pajamas and we order in?
Oh,
Because I'm like, I'd love that, but I don't want to like go to a restaurant.
Yes.
And so I feel like I'm proud of myself for finding a middle ground, not being afraid to cancel plans and just knowing that people will understand. And if they don't, like, whatever, they can get over it.
Right. And I also think it's the people you surround yourself with. Like, there's never been a time where, like, I have the best friends, the best family ever. Like, I truly love to surround myself with people who just understand me. Yeah. And when I do cancel on a plan or I just don't want to do something, like, I'm obviously not taking it personally when my friend says your way or the highway, because at the end of the day, I know she's the most accepting of me. And if I cancel on her, she's not like, screw you, this is so annoying. Right. She's like, you do your thing. Like, I get it. And I think it speaks volumes to the people you surround yourself with if they are giving you shit for, you know, not doing something that they want to do.
When my friends cancel on me and they're like, I'm so sorry, I'm like, I'm so proud of you. Like, please, like, go, like,
please cancel on me more, honestly.
Because then it also empowers me to cancel back on them.
No.
I love it.
My friend Rachel always says, she's like, isn't it the best when like someone cancels before you cancel?
Yes. That's like a euphoric feeling.
Literally. All right, that's the only one we got.
All right.
They're being shy.
Stay tuned. Okay. Let's dip our toes. They're bad at texting back. Deal breaker, red flag, indifferent, or that's you.
I think that's a red flag. I feel definitely not me. I feel like I'm very, very good at communication. I think when it comes to like the work day, that if you're busy at work, like you don't need to be doing constant back and forth. But I think if someone really likes you, guy or girl, they're going to make the effort. So I wouldn't say it's a total deal breaker because at the end of the day, you're still getting to know the person, at least in like the initial dating phase.
Yeah.
But if it's at the point where it's progressing and they're still not being super communicative, where it's like past the point of like getting to know each other, that would turn into a deal breaker for me.
Yeah, agreed. And I also think a big thing to pay attention to, and it becomes a red flag if they were a good texter and then they stop being a good texter.
Well, I think that's screaming,
and any change
like,
in communication style,
Yeah.
like that's something to pay attention to. I
Yeah.
think for me, a bad texter, if you're a bad texter from the beginning, I'm like, okay, you know what? This is how they do it. They make the plans. We don't text that much in between. I was always okay with that.
yes.
But if it was like a lot at first and then it scaled back a little after we saw each other, I would just spiral out of control and self-sabotage.
That's kind of what I think too. And I think it's hard because there's so many different definitions of like a bad texter. Like, for example, I think it's not great, and I've done this so many times where you're ferociously texting the person you're seeing 24/7,
Agreed.
FaceTiming. Like, I think that creates a false like narrative in your head that things are moving faster. And
Yeah.
I've been guilty of this so many times to the point where I realize that. But it's also the other end of the spectrum is like if they're not being communicative and you've gone on a few dates and you're still only talking to plan dates, like that's not something I want. Like, I want to continue to get to know you even when we're
not
seeing each other.
Totally.
That doesn't mean I need you. I don't care what you're having for lunch. I don't
Right.
need to hear that. Like, I don't care what sandwich
Yeah.
you got, but
Yeah.
I want to stay up to date on your day to day and things like that.
Totally.
Okay.
All right, take the plunge or dip your toes.
I'll dip my toe this
Do
time
it.
around. I went super hardcore last. Their Instagram is mostly selfies. Okay, for a guy, so this is me. It's not only me. Like, I post with friends too, but when it comes to dating someone, if it's a guy who only posts selfies, I would say that's a red flag.
I think it's just weird.
I think it's just weird.
Yeah.
Not even a red flag or a deal breaker. I think it's just weird.
Yeah.
Like, girls, like, that's their vibe, I feel
Yeah.
like, on Instagram, which is fine. I'm like patting myself. I'm like, it's okay. It's okay that you do
you're like,
that.
that's not my red flag.
That's not my red flag.
I'm okay.
But
My friends aren't gonna
a
mention
guy,
that.
yeah, no, a guy, I think it's a little strange.
Yeah.
Like, my mind instantly went to like the gym rat who's posting like
Yeah.
which I haven't gone out with something like that, but
All right, take the plunge. They hate their exes. For me, that was
Oh.
definitely a red flag because I had gone out with guys who would call their exes crazy and psycho, and then I, over time, realized, oh, there's a reason, because now I'm their next crazy psycho ex because their behavior
manipulative.
made me this way, and I was
Yep.
never this way before, and I
I've
have not
had-
been this way since.
Yep.
And so, yeah, sometimes there are shitty exes out there, and that's okay. I think it's really about like how they talk about their ex and what
Yeah.
they say, and if it's like a constant thing that's brought up and all these different examples. But then I guess maybe I'm a walking red flag because I hate my ex and talk shit about it, and maybe Jake thinks like, whoa, well, Anna's gonna make me crazy next. Like, I don't know, but to me, in my experience, it could red flag / like ask more questions about it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've had some nasty breakups,
Yeah.
and no matter how nasty they are, I don't want bad blood. Like, me and my ex-boyfriend, like, the nastiest type of, it could be a book of how nasty it was between the both of us, but he's engaged now, and I'm like, good for you guys. Like, I don't think I'll be saying nice things, but I won't be saying mean things. I will
Yeah.
just be saying like,
Good for
wish you the
Bye.
best, live your life.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. I'm gonna take the plungy. They frequently go to clubs with you. I don't really go to clubs.
Without you.
Oh, without. I don't know how to read, apparently. They frequently go to clubs without you. Like, kind of like a deal breaker.
I think that's a deal breaker for me too.
Like, why do you want to go out without me?
Yeah.
I'm fun.
So like, what are you doing?
Hey, what are you doing?
out?
And like,
Who-
clubs?
with
like,
who?
are they
Yeah.
unsensing, or is it just like
Yeah.
a bar?
They're unsensing.
The word frequently is what's getting to me. I
Yeah.
get the like occasional like go to a club. Like, I want that with my girls sometimes where they get
Yeah.
a little rowdy, but no.
It's like every Saturday night you're
No.
going to.
No,
I don't
no,
even
no.
know. I can't give an
I
example.
don't even know either,
I-
honestly. Raging.
Yeah.
That's a no for me.
They don't return their shopping cart.
Well, that's your question.
Shit. Like,
That's so random.
I think here's the thing. I feel like most people don't do this. My whole life, I've made a point to.
You're a good Samaritan.
Like those little things. Like I argued with Jake the other day about breaking down boxes in our basement of our building.
It's funny. I brought a box to my basement and I didn't break it down. I thought about how inconsiderate that was of me.
I spent 15 minutes breaking down boxes this morning because there was so much shit in this apartment. I'm like, nope, got to make it look a little bit more normal and sane in here. And I took the time to break down every box. That's like a horrible thing for somebody to have to do.
Yeah.
And like there is literally a sign that says like, please break down the boxes. And
I'm
like,
inspired. I'm going to break down my boxes.
Don't. So I always try and like return shopping carts. Even sometimes I'll be at restaurants. I'm crazy. I'll like stack the plates to like help the server out.
Oh, that's really nice.
Okay, so I'm weird, but I think it's not a red flag. It's just like it's the same thing with like being rude to wait staff. Like be a little nice.
No, that's different.
Okay, fine. You're right, because that's a person.
Different.
You're right. Fine. I take it back.
Versus a
statement retracted. Completely retracted.
Person versus shopping cart.
Fine.
I wouldn't say it's a red flag or a deal breaker. I don't think that's me because I can't remember the last time I my mind went to like being an Armonk, like in a parking lot.
To Chico's.
Oh. I don't know if I would return the shopping cart, but like if I'm in Wegmans, which I love now, I don't know actually. I don't know. I don't like this question.
Next.
All right, I'll dip my toe. What's a funny red flag from a past date? I think just talking about your exes a lot on dates.
Mm-hmm.
I've had that a few times where I think it's normal to talk about like past relationships and whatnot, but early on, I think it could be a little meh.
Yeah,
there's a certain degree of like you can talk about like, oh, last time I was in a relationship was X years ago, but it's the after part to that statement that can be a red flag where it's like, why are you still talking about it?
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about like Betsy.
Yeah.
For example, I don't know who Betsy is.
I agree. I think I do like, and I am a big proponent for talking about your past relationships on dates. Totally. I think you learn a lot about the other person, what they're looking for, what their intentions are. But again, it depends the context and how frequently you're bringing it up and
the tone that they're talking.
Yeah, 100%. So I think I'd say indifferent.
Yeah.
Could be a red flag.
Oh, I forgot indifferent's an option.
Indifferent's an option.
Shopping cart, I'm indifferent.
When Carly and I play this, we have added our own category of annoying.
Okay.
We're like, it's not a red flag. We're not indifferent. It's just annoying.
Right. I'm going to pick that one up.
They don't get along with your friends.
No.
That's a deal breaker.
Yeah. No. Aligned.
Yeah.
It's actually interesting, though, because my past relationships, and it's also they were in college. So, like, that was, like, I feel like eons ago. But I've never really dated someone that my friends, I would say, truly loved being around. Like my high school boyfriend, but that's different. That was like so long ago. But yeah, I've never also the guy, my last boyfriend was older, so he wasn't even in college when I was there. So I've never really had that experience where my friends are like fucking stoked that I'm with this person and like want to be around them, which is what I want.
Yeah, that is worth like
the most important thing ever.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
Honestly, my friends are the biggest critics. Like whenever I bring someone around, I'm gonna be sweating, like shaking in my boots because they're gonna be critics for sure.
Do you wait longer to introduce them to your friends because of that, or would you?
I can't. I haven't introduced my friends to someone in a very long time. Just because there's just been no one really noteworthy for me to really get to that point.
Yeah.
It just depends on the person. Like I've had guys where they've met my family way too quickly and I've met their family way too quickly, and it's just you learn over time what's right, not what's right or wrong, but what's right for you and what's wrong for you. And
what's right in each situation.
Totally.
Yep.
Totally.
Right. A few more.
Okay. They travel weekly for work. So this I'm indifferent about this. I think when it comes to work, that's something a partner has to be very understanding. I think you have to be comfortable enough in your relationship where you're okay with it. I mean, look, do I want my partner traveling every single week? No, I want to spend time with them, but I would never, ever bicker or start an issue around something that's work related. Like, I think if a guy's canceling on a date, for example, because they're staying late in the office, like, I honestly praise that. I'm like, work, like, good for you. Like, do your thing, start your career, be successful. So I'm really indifferent about that. Like, would I want that? Probably not. But would I not date someone because of it? No.
No. Yeah, I agree. I think for me, it's my own anxieties that I have to manage.
Yeah.
Somebody actually wrote in on an AMA last week asking why women think it's a red flag if a guy travels for work weekly. And I was like, I don't necessarily think, and I did poll it and it was like 80% didn't actually think it was a red flag, but I was like, I don't think it's necessarily that women think it's a red flag. I think some think it might get in the way of you building a relationship, or
which I agree.
Like for me personally, in my experience, like I was always worried. My thing was when I was dating, I needed to know when I was going to see somebody next.
And
And
the same way.
so it would have interrupted like, oh, well, maybe we can only see each other once a week.
Yeah.
Or what if we have a great date and then the week starts and they travel and we don't have a plan set? Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to overthink and spiral.
I'm the same way. It's interesting to hear your side, because I'm also someone who very much likes to have a plan the week before. Like I like the sporadic plans and whatnot too, but if I'm into someone, I like to know into the week that like we're seeing each other. So that's an interesting take too, and I hear and respect that. But I think it's like I've heard of scenarios where people are like, oh, like screw that, like he's just so busy with work, and I'm like, no, like
we're all busy with work.
We're all
He's
busy,
just dedicated to it and has to go somewhere else for it, but he'll come back.
No, I'm very like receptive to your response too on that.
Yeah. Last one. Their texts are green.
Ugh, that's just like so annoying.
It's annoying. That's definition of the annoying category.
Annoying. Like I want to know when it's delivered.
Yeah, annoying
That's
category.
Annoying. That like defines annoying. I can't even explain why.
It also messes with group chats.
It does. I'm in a group chat right now, a work group chat, and someone's green, and I'm like,
one of my brothers. It's tough.
Jail for your brother.
Yeah.
Not good.
Those phones are so much better. I wish we all would just do it.
Well, it's funny because I went into Verizon and I was like thinking about getting the new phone just for camera purposes for work. And I was like, does it have a better camera? He's like, well, then don't get an iPhone. I'm like, that's not what I asked you.
I know. It's so annoying.
You're not going to catch me with a Samsung.
So annoying. Okay. Well, that was Where Do You Draw the Line?
I love that game.
Guys, get it for your dates. It's really fun.
That was really fun.
It was.
Where can I get this?
WDYDTL.com.
Okay. I'm going to need you to
it's Where Do You Draw the Line? So WDYDTL.com.
Okay.
And code Alana for 20% off.
Love that. Little influencer you.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, I have one last question for you.
Okay.
Get ready.
I'm pumped.
Wait, first check if there are any more red flags.
Come on, friends. Don't disappoint me.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay. Oh.
There's a lot of scrolling happening.
Okay. Wait, this is hard. Wait, all I can think about is when you were reading Come As You Are and the little boy asked you what you were reading. That's a different story. I was reading this book called Come As You Are, which is about like the female. It literally is exactly what it sounds like come as you are. And I was sitting outside of Starbucks and this little boy comes up to me with his grandma or whatever and goes, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm reading. And he goes, what are you reading? I was like, it's a book. Like, I'm not, and literally the cover is like a gaping vagina. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay, let's see.
Kids are so funny.
Remy says no filter. Blessing and a curse. Your mom probably knows about your sex life. That's not a red flag. It just means we're close.
That's a good card for them to throw on there.
These are honestly nice, but this goes back to what I was saying. Like, you need your alone time sometimes. Like, that's not a red flag.
I think everyone does. I
and
think
your
it's
routine,
great.
not red flags, but facts.
You're a teen?
Your routine.
Oh.
I'm a teen. Your family will know every single thing. That could be a red flag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be.
Yeah. That could be a red flag. I definitely,
that's so funny.
My family and I are open books.
I love that though.
Yeah, it's a blessing and a curse because if I get, attached to someone, they're attached 10 times harder. So it's like if something ends, it ends for all of us.
Yeah.
It's a breakup for the Kravettes.
That's tough.
Yeah, we mourn together.
Well, at least you have each other.
Yeah, at least we have each other.
Okay. What is the best piece of dating or relationship advice you ever received?
That's a really spectacular question. I would say, and I stand by this so wholly, I think everyone is on their own timeline. And I mentioned this briefly before, but do not compare yourself to anyone else. I think, I'm entering an age and you're in the same age where like everyone's getting engaged or getting into relationships and moving in with their significant others. And it can be really hard to not compare yourself to them. But at the end of the day, everyone is on their own timeline and you can't force something just to fit into other people's timelines. You have to follow your own journey, whatever, as like cheesy as that is, and that everything truly does happen for a reason and things will fall into place when it's meant for you, not on someone else's timeline.
I love that. I could not agree more. It's beautiful.
That was deep.
It was.
Yeah.
Wow. We took the plunge on our own.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. This was so fun.
So fun. Where can everybody find you?
Oh my God. I'm on Instagram, I guess.
Yeah.
And on Hinge.
Yeah.
Dani Kravette. Dani Kravette is my name. DNK Creative is my business. I created the Instagram, but I haven't posted yet.
That's okay.
Baby steps. But this was so fun. Thank you.
This was so fun.
Can I hug you?
Yeah. Guys, if you see her on Hinge,
I'm going to have an updated profile.
Tell her what you'll do with the spider or not do.
Yeah.
Or what you'll do instead of killing a spider for her.
Yeah.
I want to know.
Yeah, me too. Let a girl know, please.
Let us know. Thanks for listening, daters. I hope today's episode made you feel just a little bit less alone out there, no matter what your status might be. Give your finger a break from swiping and hit that follow and review button instead. And if you have any burning questions or want to share your own dating horror stories, reach out to seeingotherpeoplepodcast@gmail.com. And in the meantime, keep on seeing other people.